What's up, everybody? This is PVD Horror. I am Dave, and I'm joined here with my co host, Brandon. And today we are doing our What Did We Just Watch episode. And we have a surprisingly great pairing right here. I would say, actually, um, probably the pairing I was like the least excited about watching because I was like, oh, these don't even look that crazy. And
Mhm.
they were actually really enjoyable. If you like all things horror and want to get the best horror news, interviews, and reviews,
Like, subscribe, and ring that bell to follow us and satisfy all your horror
like the
needs.
least excited about watching, because I was like, oh, these don't even look that crazy. And
Mhm.
they were actually really enjoyable.
Yeah, I
I don't
have
know.
to agree with that too, because even with a movie like Uncle Peckerhead, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
just the name just kind of like screams, what the fuck is this about? Like,
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
what are we about to get into? So
Right.
I don't
Right.
know, do you?
Yeah. So, I mean, our movie duo here is Uncle Peckerhead and Tiffany the doll.
Mhm.
So we'll start off with Uncle Peckerhead. Um, so essentially, this is a trio punk band that scores their first tour. Um, they're going on the road and they're just, they're down and out. They're not financially secure. And they meet a guy who goes by the name Peckerhead. And how, like, after and he ends up driving them around to all their gigs and they find out he's a demon and hilarity ensues.
And that's not even it, you know? I mean, I think that overall, uh, one of the things that kind of like stand out to me in this movie. Like I said, the name Uncle Peckerhead itself, but then like you said, you find out it's a demon. But I'm most upset with that's not even his real name. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he kind of gave himself that name. And
Yes.
just coming from where I'm from, you don't give yourself a nickname
You
or
do
anything like
not.
that. It's against the rules. So it's like this dude could have gave himself like any name. He chooses Peckerhead.
Peckerhead. It reminded me of my freshman year at college, and I was in a class, and we were all introducing ourselves, and this one kid says his name, and he goes, "But I'm trying to start a nickname for myself, so if you could all call me Coop, that'd be great." And we were all like, "What? Who gives himself a nickname? You can't do
That's
that.
crazy.
It's against the rules. It's
Cool.
against the rules." Coop.
So
Yeah, so the plot summary for this one is when a band scores their first tour, life on the road proves tough when they are joined by a man-eating demon as a roadie. That is
mhm.
literally what this is about. This is definitely like a dark comedy horror. It's pretty gruesome, pretty bloody in some scenes.
Yeah, the goal is crazy. I definitely enjoyed that. But I
Yeah.
want to know, how many times did you like have to like watch this movie before you like shut it off? How many times did you watch
Oh,
before you completed it?
I actually watched it on a plane, but
Mm,
I had meant to watch it on the way out and
yeah.
started it and was like didn't get interested yet, and then ended up like revisiting it again on the way back, and like it made the way through, and I was glad I did. But yeah, you're right,
Yeah.
like it takes a little bit to kind of get interested, I think.
Yeah, I think it took me about like three times to like, complete it.
Yeah.
And so overall, like you said, when I did complete watching the whole movie, uh, I was like, wow, I mean, I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was really cool. But I think the first, I want to say 20 minutes or so is kind of like iffy. You know what I mean? It's on the rocks
Yeah.
where it's just kind of just like, what are we getting into? But overall, I have to say, I haven't watched a rock type band movie like that. That was bad. I've every rock like horror movie that I've
Yeah.
seen so far is actually good. So
I was thinking the same thing. It's a pretty like enjoyable like subgenre,
yeah,
and this one is a nice one to add into there because it definitely like the music scenes kind of get you a little pumped up towards the end when
yeah,
they start playing a little bit more. There's this great like band battle thing going on towards the end, which is just awesome.
mm,
Um, and like the lead singer of the other band is just the biggest douche in the world, and it's like such a satisfying thing when Peck
yeah.
kills him. But I mean, that's kind of a spoiler alert. Sorry, everyone. Um,
But we're here to
you know it's
spoil.
coming.
We're here to spoil this. This
Yeah,
is a spoiler episode because
you know it's coming though when you're watching.
yeah. Should we spoil it all? I feel as though like
We don't
Oh,
have to go heavy. We can kind of dabble.
all right. Well, we touched on before, the gore and everything like that. From me, so those kills were like really good, and you could
Yep.
see that like it was a well-rounded budget film because it's like some of the actors, the actors were good and everything like that. You probably
Yeah,
had, friends of the filmmaker and stuff like that, but the gore and everything and just everything that was kind of put into it, I was kind of satisfied. So I really can't
absolutely.
complain.
Yeah, so this was directed by Matthew John Lawrence.
Mm.
Peckerhead's played by David Littleton, who I think he's familiar from other things. Off the top of my head, I can't name any of those things.
He looks like
Um,
Aaron Rodgers, like an old Aaron Rodgers.
like if he did way too much ayahuasca, that's Aaron Rodgers in the near future.
Yeah,
Um,
and he gets cut from the Jets.
Chet Siegel plays Judy. She's definitely super familiar.
Mm,
But again, I can't really pinpoint where she's from. Her character is like she's the one who's really like pushing the band to be everything they can, but she's also like very critical of Peckerhead and kind of
yeah.
um she like but the other two kind of like go along with it. They're Max, who's played by Jeff Riddle, who is
Mm,
arguably my favorite character in this film. The third band member,
yeah.
I think he's super funny and awkward most of the time. And then Ruby McCollister plays Mel. Those two kind of I think they start to like Peckerhead, and
Yeah.
they kind of buddy up with him for a little while, and appreciate, his killing is done in like there's like some morality to it. Like people mess with his
Yeah.
friends, I'm gonna mess with you back. So
Yeah. And I have to say, like, this was totally nuts, and I think it was really creative, but I've never seen anyone invoiced for a morning after pill. You know what I mean? I think that was the
yeah.
first time I've seen some shit like that. And I
Yeah,
was just like, here's an invoice. And it's like, what's this for? It's like, what the fuck?
that was good.
Ah,
Um,
man.
there's a funny line in this. So I think it's Max asks him, "What do people taste like?"
Oh,
And he goes,
yeah.
"That goes. That's tough to say. Some people taste like dog shit, and other people taste like watermelon sherbet."
Uh,
I wonder what I would taste like. Hopefully not dog shit.
no. I think it's probably all those Slimer drinks you sneak into the theater, so you
Yeah,
it tastes like a few of those paws.
I'll take that. That's fine. Uh,
Sh
and he's just like this super likable character. Everyone who meets him ends up liking him, and yeah, just like that juxtaposition of him being this like likable person that is funny and
mm,
charismatic, to being able to rip everyone's head off is just, it's kind of a fun transition.
yeah.
But it does like, I think you were going to allude to this, the ending actually is surprising. You kind of don't expect the way it's going to turn in the end.
Yeah. And I have to say too, I think like for most movies, what I mean, especially a movie like this, like just creating an ending to it, just creating the whole story, with him having these transitions and like morphing into this monster at midnight, you know what I mean, and the last for 13 minutes, he said. And so the way they kind of like put that into the end of the film, like it was just like, okay, cool. Like I enjoyed how they
Yeah.
like wrapped this film up. I was like surprised that it was done that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Same. What did you think of his actual like face makeup?
um, well, the eye part, what I mean, it was kind of like that. You could tell that it was like the
A
home,
prosthetic.
yeah, like
Yeah.
little homemade stuff. Like someone, would do that and stuff for like Halloween or something. But uh, it wasn't too crazy. It wasn't,
Yeah.
like the best I've seen. But
It was pretty basic, and it made me wonder if
yeah,
it was intentional.
I got the job done. You know what I mean? So that's why I
Yeah.
wasn't going in too much to kind of like, you know, talk about like what I thought about the prosthetics of everything to it. So it was like, yeah, you they got what they needed to be done, so they got
Yeah.
their point across.
I think it was kind of intentional too. And like obviously this isn't
Yeah,
like a super big budget movie. But
yeah,
I think it was kind of like um yeah, what they didn't like go above and beyond for the
mm,
makeup because they didn't want it to look too ridiculous. So it kind of made it like an easy transition for him. And then like it is funny when there's one scene where he's like killing people and their reactions of like disgust is like just hilarious. Like just watching them watch him make these crazy kills is hilarious.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a wild ride. I totally
It
enjoyed this.
it is, and this released back in 2020, so it's
Hmm.
kind of crazy. Like, we missed this movie, and I'm glad that this was on the list because, like I said, I enjoy like the rock, like horror themed movies. We had Hard Rock Zombies, all that other
Yep.
shit, like Green
Yeah.
Room.
Yeah.
Um, this has a like a
We just
spot right
screened
in the
Black
middle.
Roses.
Yeah, yep. So, uh, who recommended this film? Do we have that?
So this is actually from a buddy of mine, Josh, who I ran into, and he was like, "I got one for your list," and he said
Mm,
Uncle Peckerhead. So Jay Vargs on Instagram, Josh Vargulish.
mm.
Um, thank you for recommending this. This was actually a complete oversight on my end, not ever really paying attention to this movie.
Like I said before, like I've seen it come up on like on the screen and shit, like watch now and this and that. Like,
Yeah.
but it just always threw me off. Like, why am I gonna watch a movie called Uncle Peckerhead?
Exactly.
You know what I
Like
mean?
I totally had a different idea of what this was going to be
Yeah,
than the actual product. And it was fun and the music was good and it
yeah.
was very enjoyable.
Yeah, what was it? The band name was Duh, and
Yeah.
so they had
Yeah.
asked like, why was the band named Duh? I forgot what someone else like artist's name was already taken, and so
Yeah.
they had said
Yeah.
they gone with that. So I was like, okay, but yeah, there's a lot of good jokes and humor inside this film. So if you like humor, gore, just crazy like a crazy time, like that, definitely we recommend this. It's streaming now on Prime. I watch
Yep.
it on Prime. What did you watch it on?
Same here. I watched it on Prime.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's always funny to me how these pairings work, and this is not intentional, but we always have one like this movie's crazy, but
Mm,
like not outlandish crazy.
yeah.
It's like in the realm of like the kind of crazy we normally would typically watch.
Hmm.
Our next film is what I would call outlandish crazy, and we always have that dynamic. We always have one that's kind of like normal in the realm of crazy, and then we have one that's just like bonkers, off the
Yeah.
walls. And I guess Brandon, I'll let you do the honors of discussing the next one.
Ah, man. Yeah, so the next film is Tiffany the Doll. This is streaming on Tubi. I'm pretty sure this is a Tubi original,
I
so
think it might be.
yeah. We had seen this when it released like a while back when it came up. I've seen a lot of people kind of talking about this film, putting it out there. Seen Terrell and a few other people talking about it, and I was always kind of like, some of those Tubi movies and shit like that, like the originals, I can't get into it. And then this made the list, so yeah, the Tiffany the doll. It's about the perfect partner. She can fulfill your every fantasy, and she's all yours for a price. The newest toy, Tiffany is no ordinary doll, but you have to play to find out.
Right.
Um, for me, getting into this, it's I thought it was kind of creative, you know what I mean? Because it's like we kind of like talked about this at one of our live events when we had Psycho Silicos down, and he was chopping up a doll, and it was like an old sex doll, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we were
Yeah.
kind of sitting there saying like, who is the demographic, who's the target audience for a sex doll? Because like I don't know, like you know what I mean? And
I think we found it.
yeah.
And it exists in North Carolina.
North Carolina. So, yeah, this film was shot in North Carolina. Shout out to everybody down there in North Carolina. P. Pablo, you know what I mean? I don't know.
that's,
uh,
that's the only reference I got. Petey
yeah.
Pablo.
Take your shirt off, spin around like a helicopter. I'm surprised he wasn't in this fucking
Yeah,
movie.
seriously. For a brief second, I got super worried that this movie was actually made in Rhode Island because there's a scene that shows Providence Hospital, and I'm
Oh,
like, oh
okay.
my god, please tell me this wasn't Rhode Island.
Nah.
But it was not. I had to look that up, and yeah,
Oh,
North
no, yeah.
Carolina all the way.
Yeah, it's full black cast.
Yep.
So yeah, you could tell right away they had a little southern to them.
And this is not
So
their first or only film, I should say.
I
I
don't
was
think so.
looking at a few of their IMDb's, and they had a
Hmm.
list of other films they've done. So this group is just making movies and
Oh
playing with
yeah.
sex dolls.
Oh no, but that's the thing. It's like when you like just like here, you know what I mean? Like we have like the Death Drop guys,
Yep,
creating their films and doing everything. It's just, like once you create one film, you can't stop, and those guys are just launching off, making all their films. So it's
I
like I'm
love
pretty
it.
sure when you have a good team together,
Yeah,
it's like all right, no matter what, I think that overall, um, that like you said, this crew is doing a good job, and they're doing what they love, and you can tell they're just having fun with it. You know what I mean? And so it's like at the end of the day that's what it's all about, making films. We can be like critical about like saying how trash a movie it is and this and that, but you have to see the behind the scenes stuff of people are really having fun and enjoying things and doing things that kind of keep themselves busy and out of trouble. So
well, one thing you will not hear me say is that this is a trash movie. I fucking love this movie. I
yeah,
had such a fun time with this. I was like, I was captivated. Is the
yeah.
best way to put it. I was like not expecting it to. I was not expecting to enjoy this as much as I did. I
Mm.
watched the first 5 minutes and I was like, "Oh hell yes,
Oh
this is
hell yes.
this is good. This is good." And just like everything about it was just had me like laughing or just like, "Wow, this movie is crazy," and I'm enjoying it. It's just a great watch. It's a really fun watch.
I think you have a down payment for a sex doll right there. I think you're getting
I got
ready
to
to bring one home.
I got a Tiffany. Felicia Rivers directs this. She also co-wrote it along with Aisha Little, and it stars
Mm.
Mahogany Darkberry as Tiffany.
Okay.
And this, yeah, the idea for this is kind of ingenious. I think it's a pretty clever idea. It's like a play on what Chucky, essentially.
Yeah.
Um, but what's interesting is like so there's this whole the sex store is where you go and buy these, and there's like a
Yeah.
demonstration. I was like, wow, this sex store gets a lot of foot traffic, and every guy is calling each other saying, you get yourself a Tiffany, and then there's a Henry for the ladies, right?
Yeah.
And like this whole group of people that exist in this community in North Carolina are just all about sex dolls, and they're dropping big bucks on these sex dolls there.
Yeah. And we even
And this,
talked about that. Like those prices on those are pretty high, but I think what was it? Psycho Silico's got himself a used one or something like that.
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, all right, you got the
Uh,
head. Where's the rest of the body?
Yeah, yeah. It's this movie like just I don't know, it just made my night when I watched it. I was like, this is
It
so a
made
lot
your
of
night.
fun.
Did it make your
It
night?
it did. It was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Um,
Yeah.
did you check out Letterbox?
Yeah. There was a lot of different shit on
It's a
there.
lot. Um, a nighttime scene shot in broad daylight. They didn't give a fuck.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
ending.
yep. And then yo, fuck Oppenheimer. This film is its own incredible bomb, a truly timeless classic. And that's truer words have not been spoken.
And that's the thing, when this film kind of reminded me of like a Full Moon
Yeah.
Productions movie,
Yep.
you know what I mean? So
Yep.
uh overall, you know what I mean? I think, going into these films, you never know what you're gonna get. But definitely, with the To Be original film, I think what is it? Terrell gave this a 5 stars. That's 5 out of 5. So he really enjoyed the film. So
I'm with him.
he was one of the first people, like I said before, he was one of the first people that I had seen talking about it. But yeah, the way they were just shooting the movie, you can tell they have fun and shit like that. So you can't knock anything. And
No.
we watched this film like what, back in December. Did you go back and rewatch this again?
Yeah.
Or all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
watched it just a couple months ago.
Okay, yeah, because I want everyone to know like this list of films, like we just been so backed up, so it was like we never really got to complete this episode, so it's coming out like a little late, so we're gonna have to throw out some more films to get engaged
And I
with.
just for everyone who's already recommended something, we still have the list. Like
Yeah,
we will do our best to get to everything.
yeah,
Mistress of the Imaginarium, who's been a super amazing and loyal follower of
yeah.
PVD horror for years. I think since we started almost,
Hmm.
she's been following and She shared this with us as well as like seeing Terrell post about it. But
Yeah,
um, yeah, thank you for that recommendation.
I appreciate
Amazing,
it.
amazing, amazing. I hope they make a sequel, and they're probably going to have the Henry doll be the
Oh yeah,
the killer in the second one. I would assume.
might as well, because the definitely the film kind of ended off with it, like it's open ended, like you can just keep going,
Yeah,
because there was still dolls,
yeah. I mean, this was like the horniest group of people.
the horniest group of
Like
people.
if they're not playing with their sex dolls, they're trying to like, they're just complaining about not getting laid with each other and stuff like that the whole time. Like they're just all sexed up and
Yeah,
ready to go.
I don't know, like, cause what was it? The main thing for some of the couples that were getting, they were trying to like fix their sex lives, like you said,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Yeah, that like main couple, every time she was in the mood like the entire time. She was ready. And
Yeah,
like he was just stressed or busy and
yeah,
or had to
working.
work or the boys call when he's like about to get to the business. He's like, "All right, baby, it's your turn." And then all of a sudden he gets a call and he's like, "I gotta go." And then she's like in her robe coming out of the bathroom. "I got
Yeah.
ready for you. Gotta get
Ah,
yourself a Henry, girl."
get yourself a Henry the doll. Ah, shit.
Oh, do you remember the scene? The like nerdy business
Oh, when the
guy who
first,
buys
yeah,
one in the beginning.
yeah, I think that was the first guy that purchased one.
He
Yeah.
wines and dines Tiffany
Oh man.
and is like playing music and stuff like that. And then yeah, that guy was great. He was creeping around the store when they were doing the demonstration. He didn't want to like be seen, but he was like lingering in the back watching. And he had all these like questions about the Tiffany doll.
Hey, who knows? Maybe this is what some of those creeps need, you know what I mean, to kind of keep them busy and shit, because it's like get yourself a doll instead of like
I
doing
guess.
something crazy. But to me, it's like I don't get it. Like, you know what I mean? I feel as though that the dolls and shit kind of like it's next level. Like, what's next for you for your sexual journey once you're done with that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't want to like criticize anyone's like experience in life, but
No, yeah.
like I understand that you probably have to be having a certain experience in your life in order to go that
Yeah.
journey.
But I
Uh
feel as though like in this movie it's like the couples were using it to kind of like
yeah.
do their thing, but I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I have a lot of thoughts, but I'll keep them in my head.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not putting
We're not,
anybody down. So
and we're not sex counselors over here. So we'll if you wanted if anybody out there wants to look into a Tiffany doll, be our guest.
yeah,
Go to
down
North
in North
Carolina.
Carolina, North Carolina, where they
They
have the, you know,
they got a bouncer at their freaking sex shop.
hey man, you're dealing with high quality dolls there. What was those dolls going for?
Couple
Like 20
grand, man.
grand?
Yeah,
20?
a few grand.
Had them on
I think that
layaway.
nerdy business guy paid in cash.
Oh, you paid in full.
He had a briefcase. All right.
Oh
So
shit.
I lost my train of thought. Uncle Peckerhead, Tiffany
Yeah.
the doll. You guys haven't failed us. This is like
No.
another episode of two awesome recommendations. This really hit the mark of what we were looking for the recommendations, just movies
Mhm.
that we missed and that are, you know, off the walls and need to be watched, really to be believed. If you told me there was a Tiffany the Doll movie and what the premise was, I wouldn't believe you. But lo and behold, Tubi doesn't fail us.
To
And
be.
Uncle Peckerhead is a fun watch. Definitely recommend checking out both of these.
Yeah, definitely add them to your list if you into crazy themed movies. This is definitely the two films that you should check out and you shouldn't miss. Like we have, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just,
I
that's the
regret
thing.
it. I regret it to this day.
Yeah. So, hey,
It,
we watched them. They're checked off.
it's funny because I'd seen this on the list 1,000 times and always
Mm.
overlooked it. It's like by that poster, never was like, oh, I should watch that.
Tiffany?
Yeah,
No, okay.
but after I was like, you know what? Shame on me. And now
Shame
I feel
on
like
me.
I should go check out all the Tubi originals because maybe I'm missing out.
Maybe.
So
Maybe.
if people know movies like Tiffany the Doll that you want to throw out there, more sex doll movies, I
Fucking
guess
freak.
let us know. Let us know.
Dave, you have a sex doll. Be careful. Nah,
I
shit.
will never divulge that information. That is my private business.
Tiffany. Ah,
Tiffany the
shit.
doll.
Yeah. So thank you again to everybody that recommended these two films. We appreciate it. So
Yeah. And we will put up a post in the near future after this episode releases asking everybody to give us more recommendations to add to our list. So if you have a movie that is crazy that you feel like we probably haven't seen and you'd love to hear our reaction to, let us know. Send us the message. We will definitely check it out. Have a good night, everybody. See you later.
take it easy.
Night.